Good morning, good morning. Today is the day, our longest run of the training cycle. Last weekend we did 20 miles and we hit about 2.5 hours. Today, ultimately the goal is 3 hours. We want 3 hours time under tension. Our first goal, not our stretch goal, but our first goal is to hit this marathon in under 3 hours. So I just want the body to know what it feels like to move that long if it were to take that long. So we'll probably hit closer to 23 or 24 miles today. Right now, I'm getting some English sourdough muffin, peanut butter and honey with a banana in me. Gonna get some coffee. Um, Unfortunately, decaf. I done messed up at the store and just grabbed a bag and it was decaf. So my wife's been giving me a hard time about that. So we'll see if that helps at all. But then during the run, we're gonna experiment with nutrition a little bit today. Several months ago, when I was looking at the race website, they were going to be using the Cliff goos, and more recently they've switched to the GU goos. I remember these bugging my stomach like years ago when I used to run, so we're gonna try them and see how they hold up today. I'm also gonna do some blocks, some quick blocks, and some honey stingers as some treats as well. Some of my long runs through this training cycle I've done on a river parkway trail where if it's a 12-mile run, I'll go 6 miles out and 6 miles back. In the colder months, it's been pretty slow, and so if I needed to use the restroom, it was so easy to go off into the bushes and do so. It's way too busy now to do that, and so my longer runs lately have been loops around my city so that I can pass by the house. It's made it so I don't have to really wear a belt and carry my nutrition with me. I can just swing by, grab something, use the restroom, and then get back out. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do 3 8-mile loops. So at least we're gonna start with two 8-mile loops. If it looks like we still have about an hour left, we'll get into the third 8-mile loop. If our pace is slower or anything like that, we can adjust that last loop for the distance that we need and the time that we need to get to that 3 hours. I'm gonna get this in me. I'm gonna get changed. I'm gonna start getting loose. Probably take Coda out for a little walk, get loose, and then we'll see how today goes. All right, guys. That is a wrap. It is 3 hours. Just over 22 miles. I'm gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna get in the shower, clean up, roll out and stretch, and then we'll jump into the studio and we'll pull up Strava and we'll take a look at it. But I finished the first 2 8-mile loops right around 2 hours. I thought about going in for another 8-mile loop. My legs though, left quad, right hamstring, definitely started to feel it. So that last loop I went out for a 6 mile so I could hit 22. Just suffered in the last 2 miles. And so then a little bit of a walk run so that I could get to that 3 hour mark and call it. Coming out of winter, I spent plenty of time of training in the snow, in the rain, in the cold, but the heat, first time, one of the first runs, one of the hottest days we've had, and it scares me because it's only like 70, what is it out there, 75. So it's gonna be a warm winter, or warm summer. It was a hot one today, and it got to me. Nutrition, I think, went well. I think my stomach tolerated the use, but I was late. I did a lot of good pre-nutrition, but by not having a belt with me, I went out for 8 miles, and so I wasn't fueling until 8 miles, and then again at the 16-mile mark. Come race day, I'm gonna start fueling at like 4, 7, 9, and really start getting them going early. So that's something I did not so great today, but more to come. I'm gonna get cleaned up, we'll jump in the lab, and we'll see what it looks like. All right. We are back in the studio. Let's recap today. I am trying not to beat myself up, trying not to be disappointed. I think I really wanted to get closer to 24 miles, but we got 22. We got 3 hours in. The first 8 miles, wow, my legs felt heavy. I could feel the training. As we jump into Strava here in a second, you're going to see that the last 2 weeks have been my heaviest training weeks for sure. I'm peaking
in my training. The next 3 weeks, we'll start getting ready to taper. 20 miles last week. I'm still feeling it. I swear I'm still feeling it. So I can't imagine what it's going to feel like to taper. I hope I do the right things during the next 3 weeks so that my body's ready. But let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen here and let's just take a look at what we did today. So right off the bat, here's last week, 55-mile week. It was a big week. We ended with a 20-mile run. Monday was a rest day, coming off the Sunday long run, one rest day, and then back in. And this week we hit, I think 59. I think it's counting 2 miles from a little hike I did yesterday. But here we are, 22 and almost a quarter, about an 8:05 average. The last 3 miles tanked this, and we'll look at that about 3 hours. If you're ever wondering on my Strava, Ty Nelson, this is my picture. There's a lot of Tyler Nelsons, so yeah, Ty Nelson. That's what the picture looks like. But B is the training cycle I'm in. You can see up here, I did an original like 20-week cycle of building a foundation, getting back into running because I'd taken quite a bit of time off. And then another 20-week block I'm in right now is this training cycle B. I'm in week 17 and this is day 7. I start my day of the week on Monday. So Sunday, here we are, day 7. But I started with the 2 8-mile loops. Here we are, first 8 miles. Pretty consistent. I think I came in around 58 minutes. Quick break, quick break, and then back out for another 8. And I think that's what killed me today. Come race day, come race day, I'm gonna start fueling early and often. And so for this run, not to fuel for 8 miles and then again until mile 16, honestly foolish. But I also I was humbled by the heat today. I was not ready for it, but that's all right. We got it done. Here you can see I went back out for the last 6-mile loop. I'd ended pretty slow, so I came out pretty slow. During this break, I had put a shirt on, put more sunblock on, so it took a little bit longer to get out the door. Super hard to get going again. Come race day, I'll be grateful not to have too long of stops, just to keep moving. Never really got going, and then tanked for sure. And when I realized I was going to come in at get my 22, I'd for sure be under 3 hours. I knew I didn't want mileage to do much more, so just accepted it, and here we are. But that is about it, guys. It's time to start tapering. I do have 2 more key workouts that I'm excited for. More to come on those. I'm going to try to jump on here again, do again more of an introduction, kind of where we're at, where we came from, what the goals are, where we're trying to go. But 2 more big workouts that are in the next 3 weeks. But aside from that, it's time to get the body feeling good, recovered, taper, and hope for some good weather for race day. More to come, guys. We'll see you soon.